Hey guys, this is Sonic Chaos 105 here. Today I'm actually going to be doing a deck profile video on a new deck I have actually. Now, I really love this deck. It's not really in the meta right now, but I've tinkered with it a little, and I think it's finally ready. And it made me feel guilty by not doing a video on it, because I love this deck, guys. But anyway, that's why I'm doing a deck profile. Keep in mind, this isn't this isn't necessarily in the meta right now. If I could get a Link monster for it, like a Pendulum Link monster, that would be really good. But anyway, let's start the video. So, I'm so happy about the new band list because it gives you the ability to run triple Perform Pal Skullcrobat Joker. If you don't know what he does, whenever she's normal summoned, or it's normal summoned, you get to add a Perform Pal Magician or Odd Eyes card from your deck to your hand. So you could add a spell, trap, or anything as long as it has one of those names in it. So yeah, I'm really happy you can run triple of him. I probably should have done this first. But anyway, of course, since this is an Odd Eyes deck, I run triple Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Both of his effects are really good. Like his Pendulum effect, any battle damage involving a pendulum becomes 0. And then his effect, you can destroy him in the Pendulum Zone. His other Pendulum effect, destroy him in the Pendulum Zone. Add a Pendulum monster from your deck with 1,500 or less attack from hand. And he deals double damage whenever he attacks. Any leveled monster, but I'm definitely bumping. Actually, no, I think it's good at 2. Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon. Now, if you don't know what he does, I'm gonna be honest. I only summon him, and if I'm forced to play him in the Pendulum Zone, I just destroy him off of Sky Iris. But his Pendulum effect, once per turn when an attack declared involving a face-up opponent's monster, if you have an Odd Eyes card in your Pendulum Zone, you can make that monster you control gain 1,200 attack until the end of the battle phase, even if this card leaves the field. That's its Pendulum effect. Its other effect, that's what I really used it for. I've only ever used it like 30 times. If this card attacks and you have Odd Eyes cards in your you have Odd Eyes monsters in your Pendulum Zones, no matter what they are, there just had to be Odd Eyes cards in your Pendulum Zones. Then you deal 1,200 for each of them. So yeah, he's really good. And 2, Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes. The reason I don't run 3 is because it's really suitable at 2, and most of my pendulums you can only really summon level 7 monsters, so I question the fact of even me putting 2 in here. But yeah, I have 2 in here, and it's the only way I can bring out the other Supreme King cards. But yeah. Double Perform Pal Yugo Golem. Whenever he's Pendulum summoned, you get to fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck, but you have to fuse him with a Dark Dragon, and that's easy to get. Like it just has to be a little. Wait, does it say specific level 7? Nope. You have to use this card and a Dragon monster. But yeah, really just his Pendulum effect is. Oh crap! I forgot to go over Supreme King, but Supreme King doesn't really do anything for a Pendulum effect. Just add a Pendulum monster. It basically does the same thing as the normal Odd Eyes, except for, making battle damage 0. This card doubles attack. You can sacrifice 2 Supreme Kings to special summon him. That's what that Supreme King does. Just to recount, once per turn of a fusion, if a monster is fusion summoned on your field except during damage, you can add a Perform Pal or Odd Eyes or Magician from your graveyard or face-up extra to your hand. Oh, so his Pendulum effect, is if you use fusions, if you fusion summon with him, you get to, well, if you fusion summon while he's in the Pendulum Zone, that means you get to basically add an Odd Eyes, Perform Pal, or Magician that's in your grave or in your extra deck to your hand. So it's kind of recycling. But yeah, he's a scale 1, which is also really good for this deck. And, you know, I feel good that this card is at 2. Well, as Mirage Dragon, I really don't like this card. I just play it because of the combos that I kind of have to pull off with them. While an Odd Eyes card is in your Pendulum Zone, quick effect, target one Odd Eyes monster you control. The first time it would be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn, it is not destroyed. You can only use the effect of Mirage once per turn. So this is really good, as you can tell. Like, it's basically a Stardust Spark Dragon in an easier form to bring out. In a looped form to bring out, per se. Like, literally, I've just annoyed my opponent by just always special summoning him from the extra deck. There are times when, you know, in fact, with this deck, you kind of need monsters in your pendulums in your extra deck. There was a time when I was fighting my cousin who had a Blue Eyes deck. You know, I was playing pretty competitively. I didn't really use the deck at the time. You know, learning. And then he was able to make sure I couldn't get any pendulums in my extra deck. Like, they either just went to the grave, and if they would go to the extra deck, he summoned them or banished them. That's all he did. And, you know, if I'm running 2 Mirage, 2 Persona... Oh, Mirage is Pendulum Effect, I forgot. Trying to face up Odd Eyes mode. Pendulum would be destroyed by battle or card effect. You can destroy one card in your Pendulum Zone, and if you do, place one face up Odd Eyes Pendulum monster in your extra deck or Pendulum Zone except Mirage. Okay. So, Odd Eyes Persona does, you know, pretty good. The other way to bring out Supreme Kings, like Clearwing, Supreme King Clearwing. Once per turn during the end phase, if your opponent activated a card or effect this turn targeted an Odd Eyes Pendulum monster you controlled and no other card, while this card is in the Pendulum Zone, special summon this card, and if you do, place one face-up Pendulum monster from your extra deck in your Pendulum Zone, except for Odd Eyes Persona Dragon. So, you know, he summons himself and then gets something new. So this could really benefit you. His monster effect is, once per turn, quick effect. Target one monster on the field that was special summon from the extra deck. It has its effects negated until the end of this turn. So if your opponent summons something from their extra deck, nope, just stop them from activating the effect. It's basically a vanilla cards. They just suck. And, you know, 2 Nobled. I'm thinking of bumping him up to 3, just because of how good he is. I like tune him with Odd Eyes, bring out a lot. This is really good. That's all I ever use him for. That's his monster effect. His pendulum effect is if you have a magician, unless you have a magician in your Pendulum Zone, well, this guy gets destroyed. But anyway, one of my friends insulted me for having this card, and then in the end I actually killed him with it. So, yeah. I can't believe I actually did it. But, you know, 2 Unicorn. If he's normal summoned or special summoned, target a Performer Pal in your grave, and then you gain life points equal to its attack. So, pretty good monster effect, honestly. His Pendulum effect is if once while this card is in your Pendulum Zone, while the Eyes monster declares an attack, target one other Performer Pal you control. That attacking monster gains attack equal to the original attack of the targeted monster until the end of the battle phase. And it's even if this card leaves the field. So if your opponent's like, yeah, Twin Twisters, that's not happening, too bad it is. Now, I only run one of this because, Odd Eyes, they're meant to be a dark deck, and there's a light monster. Performer Pal, Odd Eyes, Light Phoenix. If you have him and Unicorn, you can pull off an insane combo. Which, in his effect, you can destroy a card in your Pendulum Zone, and then special summon this card. Yeah. His monster effect, you can sacrifice this card and target a Perform Palette, and it gains 1,000 attack. Pretty good card, yeah. Now, I added these in because their effects are just so good. Dragon Pulse and Dragon Pit. You probably can't see them. I got a lamp for this reason. Okay. But yeah, Dragon Pulse, Dragon Pit. Dragon Pulse's effect, if you have a Magician in your Pendulum Zone, you can discard a Pendulum monster, then target a monster on the field, destroy it. This guy's effect, you can discard one Pendulum monster, then target the spell and trap card on the field, and destroy it. So they're both pretty good. They're vanilla Pendulums. Now, like I said, vanilla Pendulums aren't really good, because what if you're forced to use them? Well, like, Dragon Pit is good for defense, and I just put Pulse in defense no matter what. But yeah, when they're in the Pendulum Zone together, they're really good. I don't really run Magicians in this deck. I'm thinking about it, but I don't really have the resources to do it. One Arc Pendulum, the new card that came out for Odd Eyes. His effect, he doesn't have a monster effect, he's a normal vanilla Pendulum. But this one is really good because if an Odd Eyes you control is destroyed by any means necessary, you add an Odd Eyes card from your deck let's say, you can special summon an Odd Eyes from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Unfortunately, you can only use it once per turn, but hand, deck, or graveyard, it really won't matter. If your opponent is struggling to get rid of you and it took, like, almost all their resources to get rid of one card, then GG. This is a new card I put in, actually. Performer Pal Odd Eyes Dissolver. His monster effect, during the battle phase, if a Pendulum monster battled, you can special summon him, and your monster cannot be destroyed by a battle. You can only use the effect of Odd Eyes Dissolver once per turn. During your main phase, you can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck by using this card you control as fusion material and a card from your Pendulum Zone. This is really good. And I'm so happy that I own this card because it's just so good. And essentially it does the same thing in the Pendulum Zone, but it does the same thing as Trump Witch, but you can fuse monsters from your hand or field, so you're sitting on a continuous version of polymerization while it's in the Pendulum Zone. Yeah, I've never really gotten to use him since I just added him in, but, you know, he's really good for my deck. This is another new card that I've never gotten to use, but he helps my deck just because of all of his effects. Performer Pal Odd Eyes Minotaurus. His effect is, during the damage calculation of a Pendulum monster attacks an opponent's monster, you can make an opponent's monster lose 100 attack for each Performer Pal and Odd Eyes monster you control. Now guess what this means. Actually, wait. No, so essentially the max your opponent can lose is 500 attack. But, you know, he's still really good just for his weakening effect. He's a scale 6, so I don't really recommend putting him in the Pendulum Zone. Unless you're good with, like, level 5s or 7s, whatever. During damage calculation, if a Pendulum monster attacks... Oh, wait. If your Performer Pal or Odd Eyes monster attacks a defense position, inflict piercing. Now, for the holy majestic card that I got just today. In fact, little secret, these two cards I also got today are in the same pack. So, I mean, you can imagine how happy I was. You know, to get 3 of one of the most ultimate cards for this deck in one pack. So, Performer Pal 5 Rainbow Magician. A scale freaking 12. A freaking scale 12. And this guy, he's just so good. The only downside to his Pendulum effect, though, well, first of all, it can't be negated, so you're kind of forced to use it. Even you can't stop it. It's triggered automatically. You can only Pendulum summon from the extra deck. So, you know. But he's scale 12. I mean, with this deck, you're not... there's like, there's really nothing you can't do. Like, you can just fill up the board instantly. His other pendulum effect, now you gain one. Each player gains one out of two of these effects, depending on how many set spell and trap cards they have. Due to Link format, this actually is really good because the pendulums count as spell and trap card zones because they're in the spell and trap zone. So in this format, he's really good because he counts himself. So you'll most likely have like 5 or 4, and when you have 4, all monsters you control get double the attack. If you have a number in between that, nothing happens. If you have 0, like none at all, your opponent, like if your opponent has 0 for some odd, stupid reason, their monsters cannot attack and they lose their effects. The new card that came out for Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon, who's a ritual dragon. I can bring him out using here it is. Probably should do that first. You can use Odd Eyes Advent. And Odd Eyes Advent makes it so you can use monsters in your extra deck to ritual summon him. So once you draw both of these and a few monsters in your hand, GG. At his effect, return all spell and traps to the hand. So, your opponent can't stop it, hopefully. Has 2,800 attack, and both of you have to pay 500 life points to activate card effects. So that's what him and Odd Eyes Advent do. That's for the monsters and one spell. Oh my. Oh, yeah. That was my cat, sorry. Now I run 2 of these, and I think my deck is pretty stable. Running 2. Odd Eyes Fusion. This basically is the easiest way to just bring something out. And I use it to bring out Starving Venom, even though I probably should bring out Vortex. I just don't like Vortex. There's something about it that I just don't like. Yeah. So yeah, I have 2 Odd Eyes Fusions. And this card, I'm actually really happy that I own even a single card, a copy of this. Duelist Alliance. So, let's say you have one of the pendulum monsters you need, but not the other one. Just put it in the pendulum zone, activate Duelist Alliance, and its effect is if you have Duelist Alliance, whatever it does. So if you have at least one pendulum monster in your pendulum zone, then you can add one pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. No specific one, just add a pendulum. This is good for all decks that run pendulum. And I don't like this card, but it's most of the spell destruction I have. I'm probably going to replace it with like MST. Pendulum Storm, it's not Heavy Storm, nothing like it actually. Destroy all cards in your pendulum zone. Well, in the pendulum zone. So if your opponent has cards in their pendulum zones, bye-bye. Then destroy one spell and trap your opponent controls. So it has to be face up. Now, I was running 3 of this, but, it just, whenever I already had one in my hand and then I drew another one, it was a dead draw, and I needed a good draw at that point. Well, anyway, Sky Iris. Yeah. Your opponent cannot target Perform Pal Magician or Odd Eyes cards in the pendulum zone, or at all with card effects. And then once per turn, destroy one card you control, and add an Odd Eyes card to your hand. So that's pretty good. It's really good, actually. I think I was running 3 of these, but I don't remember. But yeah, Spiral Flame Strike. If you control an Odd Eyes monster, so any Odd Eyes monster, you can add a level 7 Odd Eyes card from your deck to your hand, or target one card in the field, destroy it, and that's it. Or add one level 7 Odd Eyes from your extra deck. No, that's pretty good. I only run 1 terraforming, I also don't like this card at all. Whenever I already had my field spell, it was a dead draw. Some people will run 3 of it to thin out the deck, but I don't like it at all. Then your draw power of the deck. Pot of Riches. Shuffle 3 Pendulum monsters from your grave. Let's say Pendulum Zone. Grave or in your extra deck. Combined 3. So 3 from either your grave or extra deck, or have 2 from the grave and 1 from the extra deck, or 2 from the extra deck and 1 from the grave. Then you shuffle them into your deck and draw 3 cards. Or 2 cards. So, it's a better version of Pot of Greed. Yeah, in my opinion, it's better. 1 Pendulum Impenetrable makes it so the cards in your Pendulum zones are safe from anything. Now for the traps. I don't really run much, just 4 trap cards. 2 Pendulum Reborn. Summon a Pendulum from your extra deck or your grave. So, really good. 1 Pendulum Switch, because switch a card from in your extra deck, summon it, then replace it with a card on the field. So, and 1 Echo Oscillation. I'm thinking of running 2 again, but yeah, I'm pretty stable with these traps. I don't really draw into them that much. And what this card does, target 1 card in your Pendulum Zone, destroy it, then draw a card. That's it. Just draw a card. So, continuous draw power. Now, for my extra deck, my favorite part of the deck that I edited. So for my Xyz, I run 2 Absolute Dragons. Oh, you probably can't see them. It's so hard to do this. Let's do that, So 2 Absolute Dragons. Really great. Because, you can discard an overlay unit or Xyz material. Then, negate an attack, so a Utopia effect with an added, you can summon an On Ice from your grave, so special summon it. Now, I just added this card in because I felt it fitted in with the deck so good. And it's a rank 7. This deck can easily make a rank 7 like turn 1. Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger. Now, I don't really use its effect like overlay a rank 5 or a rank 6 to make it. I just, use it to ram into stuff. And I just got this card today. I'm hoping to troll my cousin tomorrow, because we're competitive rivals. And the other 2 cards, Dark Rebellion Xyz, which I don't really make because this deck runs level 7s. I'm thinking of taking him out. Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion. This card's effect is broken. Dark Rebellion cuts monsters' attack in half and gains it, and this is permanent. What Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion does, you need 2 dark pendulums to make it. 2 dark pendulums. Nothing else. You can't use anything else to make it. Now, if this card battles, get rid of an Xyz material. Get the opponent's monster's attack to 0, and this card gains that much attack. And wait, is this permanent? Oh yeah, it's permanent. So if when your opponent just it stops them completely in their tracks, guys. But for the synchro part, I'm really debating on whether I should keep Supreme King Dragon Clearwing. It does a Black Rose effect, but you can keep it on the field. This card is synchro summon, destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls. And once per turn before battle damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy that monster, and if you do, inflict damage equal to your opponent, equal to that monster's original attack. If this card is in your grave, you can sacrifice 2. Original attack 2. Yeah. You can sacrifice 2 Supreme King Dragons monsters to special summon this card. And you need a tuner and 1 or more Dark Pendulum monsters to make it. Now, I'm thinking I don't really need it, and I can switch it out for another Meteor Burst. Because what Meteor Burst does, it's easier to make. It's level 7, so I use Noble Dragon and on Ice, or level 7, whatever. And I could summon a monster from my Pendulum Zone without having to do anything after that. So I'm probably gonna take Supreme King Dragon Clearwing out, even though he's my favorite. And you know, Aaron Clearwing, because, well, what it does when it's summoned, if a level 5 or higher activates its effect, which, if your opponent has one, they're most likely gonna do, negate that effect, destroy that monster, and Clearwing gains its attack until the end of your turn. Yeah, but Cyber Dragon Infinity is way better. I wish I could add it in this deck. Speaking of Cyber Dragon deck, I'm probably going to do a deck profile on that soon, so yeah. Like I said, I don't like it, but it's good. Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, the first time I ever used it, this was the reason I couldn't get Pendulums in my extra deck. Here's the reason I lost. But I trolled my opponent, so the fun of the troll. Like, this guy needs no introduction. If you somehow see an Odd Eyes player, you'll definitely know what this does. It was one of the most popular cards. But if you don't know what it does, whenever this card is fusion summoned off of anything, get rid of one of your opponent's face-up attack position monsters. And you can continue to do this as much as you want. And if a card would be destroyed, shuffle, well, if it has to be an Odd Eyes card, but shuffle a card from your extra deck into your deck, and it is not destroyed. This is not a once per turn effect, but yeah, here's the reason I couldn't get Pendulums in my extra deck. I just abused that effect. Before Pal Gatling Ghoul, I usually summon this off of Yugo Golem and Odd Eyes. What he does, he has 2,900 attack, which is really good. Oh yeah, Odd Eyes Vortex has 2,500 attack and 3,000 defense. That's why people use him in defense mode. Gatling Ghoul deals 200 damage for each card on the field. So if there's 20 cards on the field, your opponent's taking 4,000 damage. And you can target one monster on your field. Destroy it. Your opponent takes that monster's original attack as damage. So GG. This card, I have won many duels with it, but I might have to take him out and replace him with something new. But yeah, I don't like this card. I've never brought it out before. With the other Supreme Kings, I have used them. This one is the only one I haven't used. Supreme King Dragon Starving Venom. And this is the move people usually go for. It's before using any other Supreme King. And I don't run the Supreme King Dark Worms, which I need. But, what he does, he inflicts piercing damage and can turn into one of your opponent's monsters, gain that attack, and place that effect with its effect. It basically copies an effect. Like, that's what it copycats it. Yeah, you're probably clicking off the video since I said that, but anyway, Starving Venom, the better version, target level 5 or higher special summon monster that your opponent controls. This monster gains attack equal to that monster. And target one monster your opponent controls. That Starving Venom, replace that monster's name with this card's name. Replace this card's name with that card's name. So it becomes that card. It gets that same attack. It keeps the attack if you used its effect before using the other one. Then if it's destroyed by a battle, yeah, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. So yeah. Anyway, for the side deck, Probably, should I go to monsters in my side deck? Yeah. Sorry, I knew I was forgetting something, and it was to organize my side deck, but Trump Witch? Yeah, because infinite poly, but that's what I have Dissolver for, so. Now, I'll tell you that card later, because you're all gonna hate me. Stargazer, Time Gazer, just for the OG play. They stop spell and trap cards with their pendulum effect. Oath Dragon, he doesn't really help the deck out that much. Well, then again, you can just add a card back to your hand with no matter what effect it has. Trapeze Magician, not using him in this deck. I don't know why I put him in the side deck. Like I told you how I was going to probably add another one in Meteor Burst. Rune Eyes is just there if I add a Magician. Wisdom Eye, because you need searching in this deck. Sky Magician, because he's level 7. Time Star? No. Yeah, I'm not running that in my side deck anymore. And, yeah, wow, I can't believe it. I actually threw it face up. It landed face up on the camera. Obelisk the Tormentor, gold rare. Now, the reason you should run an Egyptian God in a Pendulum deck is because you can special summon so many cards. And to use Obelisk's effect, you need to sacrifice 2 monsters to destroy all cards your opponent controls. This is overpowered. My cousin has this. He found a way to use it without Pendulum summoning, which was complicated. So first, he fusion summoned Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, because he got a God Hand. Pun intended. I didn't even know. So he basically had Obelisk in his hand, a Polymerization, and 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. It was so annoying. He fused all of them. He even had a defusion in his hand. And he went second, guys. He drew a defusion. When he had that look on his face, I'm like, yeah, GG. So we fusion summoned Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is a special summon. Defusioned it, which is a special summon. Normal summoned Obelisk the Tormentor turn 1. And I had Slifer the Sky Dragon in my hand. And that was the one thing, we were having a God card duel to see which God card was the strongest. There was a time when we Yugi and Kai'd it, but I was using my Dragon deck, he was using his Blue Eyes deck. Because ever since he got that deck, he's been improving it. He doesn't have an alternative, which, that's the reason I'm so sad that I lost him. But yeah, but that's the reason you should probably run an Egyptian God card in a Pendulum deck. Because they'll actually work well together. That's the monsters. This is a 15 card one, I think. Yeah, 15 card side deck. Pendulum Call and Wavering Eyes. I'm probably putting Wavering Eyes back in because it's overpowered. There's a reason it was on the ban list. Sacred Sword for the draw power, but this deck does not want its monsters banished. You really don't, so it's kind of a last turn resort. And Pendulum Impenetrable. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. Like I said, this is one of my favorite decks. If you want to see my another deck, like probably my Cyber Dragon one, which I'm gonna do next, tune in next time. And if you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And bye.